What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe. No Days Off DFS here to bring you guys something different on today. We only got one NBA game. I'm not even going to focus on that. You guys know I don't normally play showdowns, but instead, we're going to be looking at the AFC and the NFC championship matchups that we got going on. And I got a couple of plays from each game. Going to be using Outlier to go over those plays over there for you guys. And hopefully, you guys can lock that in before the games actually start. I think it starts at what? 3? Yeah, 3 o'clock today. Should be some good games. We got Washington taking on Philly. And then we got the Bills. Hopefully they can get over the hump finally and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I do not want to have to see Patrick Mahomes again in the Super Bowl, but more than likely the NFL is rigged. They're going to want to see him there anyway. That's probably what we're going to have. So if you guys are new here, make sure you guys go hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content I drop over here on the channel. And drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos help you guys win some money. Hopefully you guys were able to do something yesterday with the NBA content. Unfortunately for myself, I was way too heavy on the Hornets and the Pelicans game. That completely threw me off for everything else that I had. And just LaMelo Ball didn't pan out like I wanted. Miles Bridges didn't pan out either. Pelicans pretty much got curb stomped out there. The value wasn't, I mean, he did great for his value spot. Then paid up. I played Cat. Cat didn't do what I thought he would have did. Should have just placed a bonus triple double. Josh Hart triple doubled. Was really hoping that Josh Hart was going to be out, but even with Josh Hart in, I was like, still good match for Towns. Went ahead and still played him. Should have moved off of Towns right then and there when Hart was ruled in. That was my fault. Just stuck with my guns on that. And I mean, I played who else did I have? Doesn't matter. Didn't cash, so it is what it is. Still, all line props, they did pretty well yesterday. Hopefully, we can do the same thing today over here for this. So, we're going to be using both FanDuel and DraftKings because both of these lines you can build on either side. Just make sure when you go on DraftKings, you have to click the same game parlay tab to make a same game parlay. FanDuel, you just go in here, click whatever it is that you want. It's no issue, no problem. If you guys don't got a FanDuel account or DraftKings account, check the link down in the description below. You guys can get that right there and get a deposit match bonus and join your boy. And we can go ahead and get this game started. All right, so pulling up Outlier, I'm gonna go position by position, or I guess props by props in regards to a couple of the props that I like. I've already locked some stuff in, and first thing I'm gonna look at both the quarterbacks. One thing that I do like, and looking at it, and just how I see the game going. We know Philly, they're gonna be able to run all over the place. Jalen Hurts, I don't feel like we're going to see an explosive Jalen Hurts because he did hurt his knee again last time out when he played going up against the Rams. I know it was a big question in regards to, hey, are we going to actually see him out here running the ball quite a bit? He did decently, but I kind of feel like it's going to be more relied on Shaquan. Now, I know Shaquan, he's gone for over 100 yards in both games that he played going up against Washington on the season. His lines are inflated out the ass. It's like 120, 130 rushing yards that you got to get for that. Getting the alts on that, it's not even worth it unless you're okay with it, which, I mean, I took one prop for Patrick Mahomes for one touchdown because he's gotten a touchdown pretty much every game, passing wise. So it's kind of in the same realm as that. You just want to play it just to play it. I mean, sure, but the quarterback I am going to focus on is going to be Jaden Daniels, and I like him at the sweet spot for the 19.5 pass completions. Now, this is using over on DraftKings because you cannot get this on FanDuel because FanDuel will not let you pair it up into a whole big parlay. But looking at it over his last 10 games, he is 8 for 10 out of his last 10 games. In the head-to-head matchup versus Philly this season, in both of those games that they played, he had 22 and 24 passing yards. So definitely the upside for it. He's already done it in both the games. I definitely do see the world where Philly controlling the clock, being able to run the ball how they do. Some explosive plays that we should see from Jaden McDaniels for him to at least have to pass in order to stay inside this game. We know that Philly, they definitely have a pretty decent defense when it comes down to being able to blitz, pressure the quarterback. It's going to lead to those quick passes that we should see. Last game going out there versus Detroit, another team that does blitz quite decently. He had 22 pass completions in that game. On projection site, you guys know I go ahead and I use LineStar for their AI projection model or whatever to get my projection lines and everything. And looking at Daniels over here on LineStar, they have him projected for him to actually have 22 pass completions over here on their site. So just taking a little bit down, going to what he's actually consistently hit for the season, which on the season he has a 68% hit rate on this. I'm going to take that one right there. There's no money, there's no value in taking that 15 pass completions, which you can if you want to take something crazy, ridiculous, stupid. You're betting 1,000, $1,500. Hey, Jaden Daniels gonna go ahead and get at least 15 pass completions. Go ahead. But I'm going to take Jaden McDaniels for that 19.5 pass completions. That's the one I want to focus on. That's the one I'm going to get to first start out, first leg of this parlay. So remember that game, that prop is only available on DraftKings. So that's going to be the first leg of the leg that I'm going to take over here. So if I'm looking at Jaden McDaniels for him to get some pass completions and things of that nature, I already talked about how I pretty much see this game going for Hurts. I don't see him getting a run, rush around and stuff like that. Definitely gonna be looking at some receptions that we can actually take in this. So we'll look at receiving yards in a little bit, but looking at the receptions, a couple of players, I'm gonna focus, of course, on the main guys, things like that. One of the main guys I'm not gonna touch, that's gonna be Terry McLaurin. Every time I play Terry, he's burnt me. Now, granted, Terry, he is considered the wide receiver one over here for Washington. I can see a world where he can go ahead and get there. I know he had a great first game versus Philly, didn't have the greatest second game versus them, but his longest receptions, I know that he was able to catch that, and in both games, I believe, versus them. But one of the main dump off plays and the play that I actually really do like the most over here from Washington, that's gonna be Austin Eckler sitting at that. You can take him for the 1.5, a 2, or well, you can take him for 2, 3 receptions is what I can see it at. We can see that he's very much involved inside the passing game. You see that he's gone over at least 2 receptions in 90% of his last 10 games head to head versus Philly. He only played it in the second game. Didn't play in the first one, played in the second one. He had 8 receptions in that one right there, and he had 9 targets in that game. So again, feel like it's going to be quite a bit of pressure coming towards Jaden Daniels. Get the ball out quick. What better way than getting the dump off to your running back out of the backfield and things of that nature. We do know that they do like using Austin Eckler in the pass game, and that Robinson, he's used more for the run right there. My projections that I have him projected for 3 to 4 receptions. So that'll be the second one. Of course, this goes and correlates well with that completions play that we're taking for Jaden McDaniels. So looking at it over here on DraftKings, again, you can take it for the 2, which is the minus 555, or take the 3, which I don't mind the 3 at that minus 188. And if you're feeling froggy and you're feeling like it's definitely gonna be a ton of passes, maybe a repeat of the second game that he played, you can definitely mess with that that 4 for the plus 117, which would be plus money. Definitely would boost up this parlay right here. But I'm just gonna go in the middle of it, which I'm gonna take that 3 right there. Then when you go over to FanDuel, this will be the first leg that you can actually put over here on FanDuel. Coming out here to Austin Eckler receptions, we'll take it for the 3 again. Like I said, plus money is going to be the 4, minus 670. You rather go ahead and take 2 over there on DraftKings, where it's the minus 555 that you can get over there for that. And if you guys haven't done so already over here on like the FanDuel and the DraftKings, I know that there are profit boosts that they're giving out on both sites. I've already used a profit boost already over on DraftKings, and they have some of the same game parlays where it's a no risk. You can play 20-25 bucks on making a parlay and just take no risk with it. So definitely use that if you guys haven't already for some of these plays that I'm giving out and going over here. But back to Outlier. All right, so if you guys can't tell, definitely, like I said, I'm focusing on players that I want to focus on in this one, and of course, this is research based, but also a little bit of the vibes, because NFL, we know we always say, oh, it's scripted, the script, whatever. But for this next one, gonna go to a player who has kind of burnt me a little bit in the past. Every single time I go with one receiver, it's typically the other one, and of course, I'm talking about the dynamic duo of Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. In this case, AJ been called out in the media in regards to sitting there reading a book on the sidelines. Has not shown up so far in the playoffs at all. But a team that he can actually show up versus is going up against the Washington Commanders, which, as you see in both of his games that he's played this season, he's had 5 and 8 receptions in those games. Definitely a decent number of targets in those games. He had 8 targets in the first game versus them 15 targets in the second game going up against them. That 8 and 5 receptions, not a bad spot at all. Now, I don't mind taking AJ for 4 receptions. I am going to push it just a little bit, and instead of taking AJ at that 4 reception lines, I really do like him to take him for the 5 receptions. You can see coming out here, pulling it up. He's hit that in 6% of his last 10 games. Of course, we know LA wasn't really involved right there. Green Bay didn't, just completely disappeared, and I don't understand it. Dallas, I mean, that was the last game for them. Push Posh didn't really need to, but he has cleared at least 5 receptions in every game head to head going up against the Washington Commanders so far in regards to his career. And then so far for the 2024 season, he hit this at a 6-7% hit rate, which is a decent hit rate in my book for what I like. Looking it up on my stuff over here on Outlier, I have him projected for right at 6 receptions on today. So definitely rocking with the AJ Brown for over 5 receptions. Pulling it up over here on, got odd change. Pulling AJ Brown up over here for his receptions, and you can take that for that minus 278. That's not bad. I don't hate it at all, but I am going to take that minus 132 for 5 receptions. Main target, main monster over here, number one receiver, should definitely be involved, especially after all the calls and everything that he gotten. I see a pretty good game for AJ Brown. And that's going to lead me into my second one for AJ, which is he's going to be the one I'm going to focus on, not only for his receptions, but I do like his receiving yards as well for AJ. So one of the things that I do typically whenever I'm playing my football, stuff like that, if I'm taking receptions, depending on the type of receiver, if they're a short receiver or one I know tends to get big plays and things like that, which is AJ Brown, definitely pretty good after the catch, can definitely get a couple more yards after that and whatnot. I tend to go for about 10 yards per reception that I go for. That's just me. That's myself. I already have him projected actually for 65 receiving yards today. Anyway, I'm going to take that down by 10, and I'm going to take him for 50 receiving yards on today, which when we pull it up over here on Outlier, looking at, he's hit it, of course, 6% of his last 10 games. Head to head versus them, he's gone over this line every single game going up against them. This is the big game. This is the game to get them to the Super Bowl. It is going to have to perform. That's just the way that I'm taking it. That's how I'm seeing it. Washington ranked 13th first wide receiver line, at least over close to 150 yards per reception to those receivers. Again, the head-to-head speaks for it. 65 in that first game versus them, 97 in the second game. On the 2024 season, he's hit this at a 67% hit rate. I got him projected for 65 yards. I'm going to be safe on this one. I'm going to take it down to get him down there towards that 50 right there. So going up to AJ Brown, 50 receiving yards is a minus 247. Now, you can, if you want to, take the minus 163. That's totally fine. That's okay. But again, like I said, I'm going to actually play this one safe. And with these 4 plays, I guess to a plus 256. That's not bad. That's fine. I actually like it. I'm not going to give you guys a whole bunch of other stuff to go ahead and fluff up this or whatnot. We're going to actually move over to the Kansas City Chiefs game and look at that one. But before I do, if you are looking for another play over here on FanDuel, because of course it's only 3 plays on FanDuel, it's a plus 159 for these 3 plays. You definitely can. There's one more that I like. I said I didn't like Terry McLaurin today, and that's just simply because see him being able to get shut down pretty much. But with Terry being shut down, I see this being the spot where we can look towards De'Ami Brown, which has definitely came on over the last couple of games for them. He's been a target, decent target for Jaden Daniels, and also an explosive receiver as well. Don't mind going over here to his receiving yards, at least for 25 receiving yards, which when we pull it up, he doesn't have the best hit rate for the season. Again, like I said, over the last couple of games, he has come on with getting more receptions. In the 2 games going up against them, first game, he only had 2 targets. 1 reception he caught for 4 yards. In the second game versus them, 5 targets, 4 receptions, went off for 56 yards. Like I said, last 5 games, he's come on quite a bit in regards to actually seeing more targets, at least averaging right around 4 targets a game over his last couple. And these 2 big explosive ones in the playoffs so far have definitely been a staple in regards to why I'm so high on him. I see him going to continue to be targeted, especially in this matchup going up against the Eagles. Again, I see Terry somewhat being shut down. Not going to be that first look, or even if he is the first look, definitely can see Brown being able to get quite a bit of receptions. Now looking at him, I have him actually projected for 40 plus yards. Again, playing it safe over here on FanDuel. I would take him for the 25. That gets you to a plus 257 over here on FanDuel. All right, this next game, Buffalo Bills taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, oh, I didn't actually give my side on the first one. Now, I do believe the Eagles win. And another play that you actually can't take, completely forgot about this, but another play that you can't take inside this game, if you go over to the lines, things like that. Again, I got the Eagles winning. I do think this will be a decent back and forth. But if I am going to take a spread, I will take the Eagles for a plus 4.5. Because I do not see Washington beating them by more than a field goal if it was to come down to that. So scrolling down, where is it at? Plus 4.5 is sitting at a minus 620. So you can't take that. Gives you a little bit of extra boost. Or you can take the Eagles straight out to just go ahead and win. I'm just going to play it safe again on that. So I'll take it for a plus 4.5 for the Eagles to go ahead and actually cover. They're playing at home. Washington's on the road. We know the elements and stuff like that. Granted, I know Washington, they also playing the gold as well, things of that nature. But I got Eagles plus 4.5. That'll be one of the other lines that I do actually like and want to take. All right, now going on over to the Bills and the Chiefs. Unfortunately, we know the NFL wants the Chiefs to go ahead and make it. The Bills are going to do their best, but they're going to be playing against the refs. Like, that's just hands down. We already know that that's going to happen. That's just, it is what it is. at this point. A couple of plays, of course, we could take over here. Xavier Worthy, very explosive. We can go ahead and take him for his receiving yards, at least 25 receiving yards. I see the upside for that right there, 25 to 30. I don't hate or mind that at all so far in the playoffs. Didn't do anything that game, Denver. I believe that he was out for that one, but 45 going up against Houston last time, not bad. And he's definitely been a downfield threat. We know the Bills, their defense is not the greatest when it comes down to guarding the wide receiver position. So I don't mind Xavier Worthy as a possible play that you can definitely take, but I will go to Old Reliable and Old Faithful. I don't even have to pull up his numbers. I am not even going to do it. Travis Kelce in the playoffs has had no less than at least 70 receiving yards, dating back to like 2019, I think, if I'm not mistaken by my history. I'm taking Travis Kelce for at least 60 receiving yards and at least 6 receptions. Main target when it comes down to it. We already know what it is. We know what time it is. It's time for them to lock in. And Kelsey's going to be a big part of that. If you guys don't watch football, you guys don't understand or whatnot, just pull up Kansas City and just look at the highlights. Most of the highlights is going to be Patrick Mahomes passing to Kelce, or Patrick Mahomes hitting Kelce for some crazy play or just chunk play and thing like that. So straight up pulling it up, minus 152 for the 6 receiving yards. And like I said, Kelce for his receptions. I'm taking it for 6. It's minus 180 over here, or you could take it for the 5, the minus 360. But I have a lot of faith in Kelce. I haven't projected for 7 to 8 receptions on today and projected for 72 yards. So again, taking the safety, like what I like to do. Eagles out to a minus 124. And another one that typically hits and just a very good hit rate. Patrick Mahomes has not thrown for at least 2 receptions, 2 passing touchdowns in a chunk of his games. But what he does have, at least 1 touchdown. So Patrick Mahomes, all touchdowns. It's a minus 950, but that gets you 2 plus money over here for this play right here. That'll be the one that I don't mind taking for Patrick Mahomes for the plus 1 touchdown over here on FanDuel. You can build out this exact same thing over here on DraftKings as well. Go over the same game. Make sure you pick the same game. Passing props, Patrick Mahomes for 1 touchdown. It's a minus 1020 though. That's the only crazy thing about it. Receiving yards, we're going to come over here. We're going to take Travis Kelce for, it's 60. And we're going to take Travis Kelce. Where it go? Travis Kelce for 6 receptions. Unfortunately, it's only a minus 125 over here for that, but we do still have the upside of being able to go in and take a couple more plays that I actually want to get to. And we're going to have some type of run back to take from. And for me, that's going to be Shakir on the other side. Number 1 receiver over there for Josh Allen. I do expect for them to have the pass because the run game should not be able to run going up against the Queefs. This should definitely be a tough spot because that is one thing that they actually do excel at, is stopping the run game. I don't see the Bills being able to do too much unless it's going to be Josh Allen getting some scrambles and things like that. So I do see this being a pretty good game where we can rely on Shakir to see the targets, which over his last several games, and of course in the playoffs, 6-1, 6-7, Baltimore and Denver going up against them. 6 receptions for 7 targets, 6 receptions for 6 targets right there. At least averaging right around 5, correction. At least averaging right around 6 receptions over his last 10 games, which was pretty much the end of the season. We know that he's a very hot commodity over here for Josh Allen when it comes down to it. Definitely can't take him for his receptions, maybe 4 or 5 receptions. I don't mind that, but I am going to just focus on taking him for his receiving yards, which here. I'm going to take him for 50 receiving yards over here, the minus 170. And if you want to do that 10-10 rule, like what I did for the receptions on Travis Kelce, definitely can go down here and take his his receptions for 5 receptions or the 4 receptions. But we'll go ahead and we'll just add in the 5. So now we got a 2 plus 210 and a 254 or 256 play equals out to a plus 103. Not bad at all. I like the odds. You place $10, $20, $50, you're at least making a little bit back right there. So $10, you're making at least 110. That's not bad at all to play over here. Now, if I'm picking a side on this, it's going to be the same thing like what it was with the Commanders and the Eagles. I am not going to pick someone straight out to win the game. Instead, I do like taking an alternate spread. I got the Chiefs by plus 8.5. I don't see the Bills coming in here into Arrowhead beating the Chiefs by more than a touchdown. I don't see that happening. There's no way the Chiefs get blown out. It's the Chiefs. They got the NFL in their back pocket. It is what it is at this point. But I got them for the plus 8.5. I see that definitely being a pretty safe play that we can take in regards to it. Like the upside for it, and definitely I'm gonna rock and roll with that one right there as my take and my side over here for this game. So hopefully you guys were able to get a little something from this. Definitely enjoy. Again, you can build out that same ticket over here on FanDuel if you guys want me to go ahead and do it and show you exactly what the odds would be by the time you probably go and build this out yourself. It would definitely be different. You can take those alt lines over here as well on FanDuel. Just make sure you guys are clicking on the right stuff when you're over here for it. You do have to kind of scroll quite a bit in order to find some of the things. Alternate spread and City Queefs. My screen will work with me here. 8.5 is a minus 590 with all these plays that we have over here. This is a plus 1500. 15.95. Unfortunately, I can't move my screen down enough for you guys to see it. $10 on this one's $159. So not bad over here on FanDuel as well. Definitely be the 2 tickets that I would play over here. I've already locked in a couple of these plays already myself. Good luck to everybody on today. Enjoy some football. One NBA game. Of course, it's gonna be my Thunder. You guys know what I'm gonna be watching today. See you guys tomorrow. Big NBA slate. Peace.